Hi, welcome to the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. I'm Steve, and this is part 3 of our series Building Aurora. Part 1 we looked at where we were at so far, and part 2 was the detailing out of the roof of the icing platforms, and 2.5 will be hopefully the completion of that. So this is part 3. And before we can move forward, we got to get the infrastructure ready for the scene. Okay? So if we take a look back at Aurora, there we go. I have taken down the buildings. All right. I've removed the most of the trains off the staging yards underneath, and I have drilled some holes in there. And if we zoom up, you can see the copper conductive straight tape strips on the front and on the top in the front. Those were pre-existing, and you can see how I wired in there on the left some leads. Now, all of these leads will have a negative or a positive RCA cable. What I'm talking about there are these. Okay, this is an RCA plug, and that's the female, and that's the male. Now, there will be a lead on each of those copper strips for the females. Okay. Each building will then have the male portion lead to the bus within the building for the lighting. So I've got the front pair of strips. That is for the buildings that are truncated and hang over the front. Then the top section, front, is for street lighting. And I just added a pair of stripes to the back for the background building lighting and street lighting on the back side of the street. So next thing we need to do is I have to get leads and get those copper strips wired up. You can see the 2 wires. I'm putting dual leads to the back off the front and back, and need to get those in. I need to get that backboard painted blue and green stripped down across the bottom, most of which is covered up by the buildings, but still need that background base color there. So stay tuned, follow along, and sit back and enjoy. All right, so today we've gone ahead and we've wired up this upper pair of bus, and we put in another set of bus back here. All right. Now you probably can't tell, but there are quick connections for all of the buildings that we currently have. All right. And I'll show you one of those. All right, right here. You can see I have a test LED there. All right, and eventually the plug will be wired to a bus system mounted inside the building with a male RCA plug that will then plug in down here to the power bus. Okay? And all of these buildings have a test light like that in there, and you can see it a little bit on this one. Now there will be multiple LEDs in each one of those when I get around to actually lighting them. Now the challenge is on these 3 buildings, the original owners of them had blacked out the windows. So on the next installment of Building Aurora, I'm going to try a couple of different methods to allow for the light to penetrate through the windows. Okay. Okay, that's it for part 3 of building Aurora. Getting the infrastructure ready, the power buses wired up, and the plugs, quick plugs for each building, lined out, soldered on, ready to go. The next thing we're going to look at is putting those backdrop buildings and the flour mill, getting those ready for their position on the layout. Okay, they've got I got to get the lighting and the bus work, floors all worked out on them. So I got to get backs. You know, a lot to do in that regard. So with that, I want to thank you for joining me here for the Time Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. I'm Steve, and y'all have a great day. Bye now.